My daughter spent 2 days baking a 4-tier cake for my mother's birthday. An hour before the party, my sister wrote, "We ordered a cake from the bakery. Yours looks too homemade." My daughter cried. "I didn't make a scene. Dad, I did this." My sister replaced my daughter's cake an hour before the party and thought I would quietly accept it. That was the mistake. For 2 days my kitchen looked like a test lab. Flour everywhere. Timers going off at weird hours. Lily barely slept. She set alarms to check layers, rewrote notes, scraped frosting off and redid it instead of settling. She paid for the ingredients herself, every cent she had saved from babysitting and tutoring. She said if she was going to do this, it had to be right. This cake was not a cute gesture. It was 4 tiers, each one different, stacked carefully and reinforced the way she learned online. Lemon, chocolate, vanilla bean, spiced apple. Decorations she practiced for weeks on parchment paper before daring to put them on the real thing. She kept opening the fridge just to look at it and make sure it was still okay. My mother's birthday mattered in our family. Big number. Big guest list. My mother loves appearances. Everything needs to look curated, controlled, perfect. Lily knew that and still wanted to do this. She said baking for Grandma would mean something. I warned her my family has a habit of stepping on things they did not create. Lily said it would be different this time. The morning of the party, Lily finished early. She washed the counters twice, wiped the cake box and asked if she could send a picture to my sister Karen so she could show Grandma. Lily wanted her to see it before we arrived. She wanted that moment. Karen left the message on read. 3 hours passed. Then my phone buzzed while Lily was sitting across from me, still in pajamas, staring at the cake like it might disappear. Karen said they ordered a cake from a bakery. She said Lily's looked too homemade. She said with so many guests they did not want it to look embarrassing. No apology. No thank you. No suggestion to still bring it. Just a decision already made. Lily read it over my shoulder. She did not argue. She did not ask me to fix it. She just sat down on the floor and cried. Quiet at first, then harder. The kind of crying where a kid realizes something they believed in was never going to be protected by the adults who should have done that. I did not comfort her with excuses. I did not tell her people can be thoughtless. I did not promise it did not matter. I put my phone face down and told her to wash her hands. She looked confused. She asked if we were still going. I said yes. We boxed the cake back up. Carefully. Every tier secured. Lily kept apologizing like she had done something wrong. I told her to get dressed. I told her to bring the cake knife she bought herself because she wanted it to be special. On the drive over, she stared out the window. I kept my eyes on the road. I did not text Karen back. I did not call my mother. I let them assume I would arrive empty-handed and compliant like I usually did. When we pulled up, there were already cars lining the street. Catering van in the driveway. Balloons on the mailbox. My mother's version of perfect. Inside, I spotted the bakery cake immediately. It sat front and center on the dining table like a trophy. White fondant. Gold lettering. Clean. Impressive in a way that meant nothing. Karen smiled when she saw me. She asked if Lily was feeling better. She did not ask where the cake was. My mother hugged Lily and told her she looked grown up. She never mentioned the cake either. I set our box down in the corner of the kitchen and closed the lid again. I watched my family move around it without acknowledging it existed. No one asked. No one wondered. That was when I understood something clearly. This was never about cake. And I was done letting it be about swallowing things. I stayed quiet longer than I ever had before, and that seemed to make everyone comfortable. Karen kept busy directing the caterers like she was running a wedding. My mother floated from guest to guest, soaking up compliments about the decorations, the food, the cake she had not yet tasted. Lily stayed close to me. She did not ask anything. She just followed. At some point Karen finally noticed the box in the corner. She asked if that was Lily's cake. I said yes. She said we could put it in the garage fridge if we wanted to take it home later. She said it like she was offering a favor. Lily looked at me then. She did not cry again. She just waited. I told Karen we would leave it where it was for now. She shrugged and walked away. People started gathering around the dining table. Phones came out. Someone asked my mother to make a wish before cutting the cake. She laughed and said she did not believe in wishes anymore. She said everything she wanted was already perfect. That word again. I watched Lily's hands. She kept rubbing her thumb against her finger the way she does when she is nervous. I reached into my purse and felt the handle of the cake knife she bought. She picked it herself. Said it felt balanced. When my mother leaned forward to cut the first slice, I stepped closer to the table. I did not raise my voice. I did not push anyone aside. I just placed my hand on the edge of the table and said we needed a moment. The room went quiet in that uncomfortable way where people smile and wait for someone else to speak. I said Lily made a cake for this birthday. I said she spent days on it. I said she paid for it herself. I said she was told an hour before the party that it was not good enough to be seen. Karen laughed once like it was awkward timing. She said this was not the moment. I lifted the lid off our box. A few people leaned in. Someone said it was beautiful. Someone else said it looked professional. Lily stood very still next to me. I said this cake was made by a kid who wanted her grandmother to feel loved. I said the other cake was ordered because appearances mattered more than that. I said Lily cried on our kitchen floor and still showed up. My mother said we could talk about this later. She said it was her birthday. That was when I realized later never comes in this family. Later is just a way to end conversations. I took the knife from my purse and placed it on the table next to the bakery cake. I told my mother she could choose which cake to cut. No one moved. Karen whispered that I was making a scene. She said I was overreacting. She said Lily would understand when she was older. Lily did understand. That was the problem. My mother looked at both cakes for a long time. Then she reached for the bakery one. I picked it up before she could cut it. The room reacted all at once. Gasps. Someone saying my name. Someone else telling me to stop. I said this cake was for my daughter's tears. I said this party did not get to use her effort and still dismiss her. I said if perfection required hurting a kid, then perfection could fall on the floor. And then I let go. The cake did not explode. It just collapsed. Frosting spread across the tablecloth. Plates tipped. Silence followed. Lily grabbed my hand. I did not wait for anyone to respond. I took the lid off our box again, picked it up and walked toward the door with my daughter beside me, while my mother stood frozen behind a ruined centerpiece and a room full of people who finally had something real to look at. We did not make it to the car before the messages started. Karen's name lit up my phone over and over. My mother left a voicemail that I did not listen to. A cousin I barely talked to sent a long text about how uncomfortable I made everyone. I put the phone face down in the cup holder and drove. Lily did not say anything for a few minutes. She stared at the cake box on her lap like it was fragile glass. Then she asked if she ruined Grandma's birthday. I told her no. I told her she did exactly what she was supposed to do, which was make something with care and pride. I told her the adults failed, not her. She nodded but did not look convinced. When we got home, Lily asked if she could fix the cake. She said maybe one tear could be saved. She said it did not have to be perfect anymore. That hurt more than anything that happened at the party. I told her we were not fixing it for anyone else. I told her we were going to eat it ourselves. She hesitated, then smiled for the first time that day. We cut the cake at our own table. No candles. No singing. Just plates and forks. Tasted incredible. Even better than it looked. Lily kept waiting for me to say something critical. I did not. That night, Karen posted pictures from the party. Not of the cake. Just decorations, guests, and my mother smiling. The caption said, despite some drama, the night was lovely. I was tagged in none of them. The next morning my mother finally called. I answered. She said I humiliated her. She said people were talking. She said I could have handled it privately. She said Lily should learn that not everything she makes will be good enough. I asked her if she heard herself. She said I was being emotional. She said Karen was only trying to help. She said ordering the bakery cake was the practical choice. I told her practical does not mean kind. I told her Lily will remember who defended her and who taught her she was an embarrassment. There was a long pause. Then my mother said I was raising Lily to be sensitive. I told her I was raising Lily to expect respect. After that call, something shifted. Karen stopped texting. Family group chats went quiet around me. No one asked how Lily was. No one asked to see the cake she made. They just waited for me to apologize. I did not. A week later, Lily came home from school excited. She said her teacher heard about the cake. One of the parents at school runs a small cafe and wanted to meet her. Lily thought it was a joke. I did not. We met the woman that weekend. She asked Lily about flavors, techniques, what she would change next time. She treated her like a real baker, not a cute hobby kid. When we left, Lily was glowing. That night Karen finally texted. She said I had gone too far. She said the family was still upset. She said I needed to fix this. I stared at the message for a long time. Then I realized I already had fixed something. Just not what they wanted. Karen did not like being ignored. 2 days after that message, she showed up at my house without warning. She brought my mother with her. They stood on my porch like they were there to collect something that belonged to them. I did not invite them in. Lily was in her room working on homework. I closed the door behind me. Karen said my mother had not slept well since the party. She said the story had gotten around. She said people were asking questions now. She said I made the family look cruel. I said they did that themselves. My mother said Lily was talented, but talent needs guidance. She said the cake was good but not presentation ready. She said I should have helped Lily understand that. I asked her if the lesson was supposed to be delivered an hour before the party by text. Karen jumped in and said they were trying to protect Lily from embarrassment. I laughed. I could not stop it. I told them Lily cried in our kitchen because of them. I told them embarrassment already happened and it was private, not public. My mother said families make sacrifices. She said sometimes one person's feelings have to be set aside for the greater good. I asked who decided whose feelings those were. Karen said this was still fixable. She said if I apologized publicly, they would explain that emotions ran high and everything was misunderstood. She said Lily could even bring her cake to the next family gathering as a gesture. I told her Lily was not a peace offering. That was when my mother said something she probably thought was reasonable. She said Lily should be grateful for the opportunity to learn how the real world works. I told her Lily already did. She learned that people who care more about how things look than how they feel are not safe to build dreams around. My mother's face hardened. She said if I walked away from the family over something this small, I would regret it. I told her it was not small. I told her it was a pattern. Karen rolled her eyes and said I was rewriting history. That was when Lily opened the door. She stood there quietly and said she did not want to bake for Grandma anymore. She said she did not feel comfortable. My mother tried to laugh it off. She said Lily was being dramatic. Lily said she worked very hard. She said she thought it mattered. She said she was wrong. Karen told her not to speak like that. I told Karen she was done speaking to my child like anything other than a person. There was a long silence. Then my mother said she expected an apology. I said they should not come back until they were ready to give one. They left without another word. That night Lily asked if she was allowed to stop trying so hard for people. I told her yes. I told her effort should not be punished. A month later the cafe owner offered Lily a chance to sell her cakes there once a week. Small batches. Her name on the menu. The first one sold out in an hour. My mother heard about it through someone else. She did not call. Karen unfriended me. And for the first time in my life the quiet felt honest. The silence did not last. A few weeks after Lily's cake started selling at the cafe, my mother sent a package. No note. Just a box left on the porch. Inside was a cake stand. Heavy. Glass. The kind meant to be displayed, not used. Lily asked if it was an apology. I said it was a gesture. Those are different. Karen texted later that night. He said Mom was proud of Lily now. She said everything worked out in the end. She said this was proof that the family just wanted what was best. That message made something click. They did not change. The situation did. I did not respond. The cafe owner started posting Lily's work online. Orders followed. Custom birthdays. Small events. People who paid and said thank you and meant it. Lily kept a notebook of feedback. She listened. She adjusted. She grew. One afternoon she came home quiet. She said Grandma had commented on one of the cafe posts. She said my mother wrote that talent runs in the family. Lily asked if that meant Grandma wanted credit. I told her yes. That night my mother finally called. She said she wanted to come to the cafe and see Lily in action. He said she would bring friends. I told her no. He sounded surprised. He said why not? I said Lily's work was not a performance for people who only show up when there is something to gain. I said if she wanted a relationship with Lily, it would not be through public praise or borrowed pride. He said I was still angry. I said I was still paying attention. Karen sent one last message. She said holding grudges would poison Lily. She said forgiveness was part of being mature. I blocked her. Lily noticed. She did not ask me to unblock her. She just nodded. That weekend Lily baked a small cake at home. No deadline. No pressure. just because she wanted to. She said it was for me. We ate it together on the couch. She said she liked baking more now that it was not for approval. I told her that was the point. Some families teach you to shrink so they feel bigger. I was done letting mine do that to my child. There was only one thing left to decide. Whether cutting them off was temporary or permanent. I did not announce anything. I just stopped reaching. No holiday calls. No updates. No invitations. When my mother sent another package, I returned it unopened. When a cousin tried to play mediator, I told them this was not a misunderstanding. It was a boundary. Months passed. Lily kept baking. Not obsessively. Not to prove anything. She learned how to rest. She learned when to say no to orders. She learned that talent does not have to come with suffering. One afternoon she asked if Grandma hated her. I told her no. I told her Grandma loved control more than connection, and those are not the same thing. Lily thought about that and said she did not want to be like that. I told her she already was not. Near the end of the school year, Lily had a small feature in a local newsletter. Just a paragraph. Photo of her in the cafe kitchen. My mother did not reach out. Karen did not either. That told me everything. On my birthday, Lily baked a single-layer cake. No tears. No decorations meant to impress. Just chocolate and coffee and frosting she wanted to try. She wrote my name slightly crooked across the top. She asked if it was okay that it was simple. I told her it was perfect. That night she said she still wants to be a pastry chef someday. She said she wants to open a place where kids are allowed to try without being embarrassed. I told her I would be there opening day. Sometimes people think the dramatic moment is when something breaks. They are wrong. The real moment is when you realize you do not have to rebuild it. And you walk away with what matters.